Okay. I know you ain't got a lot of time, but I appreciate you here on Starlight TV for the people and everything. Um, the first question I want to ask you is, do you remember how you met me or where we met at?
First time I met you, man. Let me see, man. You talking about 25 years ago, Q. Quick. You talking about 20? Let me see. Was it Chapel Hill? You came down with the crew.
Yeah, Chapel Hill. Okay.
You and Gordy and Shane, Mark and Skeet, the whole crew came down and
yeah,
came down. Els, y'all all came down to Chapel Hill.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I want to ask you, what do you remember about when you first got drafted?
What I remember mostly about when I first got drafted, let me see, 1999. I tell people this all the time. I was disappointed on draft day, man, because
Yeah.
the success that I had in college, man, I was almost destined to be drafted. I knew I was drafted. I was expecting to be a top 10, top 15 pick. And so when I got drafted on draft day, man, I knew my stock was dropping. I knew it had dropped prior to the draft, but I didn't think I was going to fall into the second round.
Yeah.
When I got drafted, the 41st pick by the losers team of the 90s, man, it was a bad day for me, man. I wasn't expected to be drafted in the second round, but then on top of that, get drafted by the losingest team of the 90s, which were the St. Louis Rams. And so
Yeah.
it wasn't a man, but, like I tell people all the time, man, it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Something good out of what was bad in the beginning, at least what I thought was bad. A lot of things happen to us in life for certain reasons.
Yeah.
And that on that day, for a certain reason, man, it ended up being a blessing.
Where did you want to go?
I didn't have a particular team. Anybody who was going to write the biggest check, man, that's basically
Yeah.
boiled down to. But me having so much pride when I was, 20 years old, I wanted to be one of the top. And I was drafted, I think I was the seventh corner. We had Champ, and then it was McAllister, and then Antoine Winfield, Fernando Bryan. I was like the seventh corner, man. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to be amongst the top guys, being first round, because I felt like I was worthy to be selected in the first round.
And then you wound up going to the Super Bowl your first year.
Yeah, man. So that's how it all worked out. Everything happened for a reason, man. It ended up being a blessing. Ended up playing on the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
Ended up being drafted, coming into St. Louis, being with that same draft class with Torrey Holt, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, getting there with Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner, all of them got there just about the same time. Marshall actually got the same time I did. Kurt was there the year before, but just having a chance to be a part of that team, man, being a part of that great run.
Yeah.
It was, man, I played with 5 Hall of Famers, man. Who would ever thought when I was drafted on that day in 1999 that I would have been playing with 5 Hall of Famers, man?
Right. Okay. What do you remember most about your Super Bowl experience when you first went that year?
Everything, my Super Bowl year, man, it's like a blur, man. It happened so fast, man. I'm down there in St. Louis, 1999. Nelly came out, so St. Louis was popping every
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
thing was going so fast. But just, just the fun, that we had, even coaching today, I tell people about how much fun you need to have when you're out there. How you need to take your job, your craft seriously. It's not the regular 8 to 5, but you got to apply yourself as if it's a regular 8 to 5 job. So therefore, you got to take care of your body. You got to prepare yourself like it's any other job. And so that's the one thing I had to adapt to. I had to learn. I had to understand. But we just had so much fun doing what we do.
Right.
When you have fun, it just makes everything easy. There was nobody that liked coming to work. No matter if we were the first game or last game, from day one, man, Dick Vermeer created an environment where everybody loved to be a part of. We loved one another. We were brothers. You know, the brotherhood was tight, man, and that's why we got results that year and was able to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, so give us a little after St. Louis. Then you went where? Like, who did you play for after that?
So I played 4 years in the Lou, and then my contract was up. I went to Detroit. I was there for 4 years, and then I got traded to Denver. Played 2 years there, and then I finished up with the 49ers in 2009, and then I went back to Detroit in 2010. They released me, and after that, I retired.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit. Where did you grow up at? For people that might not know where you're from. Where did you grow up
Well,
at? Where you from?
I'm from where they breed all those good athletes, man, down in Chesapeake, Virginia, down in the 757. If y'all didn't know, that's where I'm from. Hampton Roads, the 7 cities, man. That's where I was created, man.
Yeah. Shout out to cousin Dan. That's my homie too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does your city is there a lot of NFL players that come out of Chesapeake?
That's a lot of. I mean, we got a lot of guys that come from that area in particular. The city is basically, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Virginia Beach. We all feel like we are one. Hampton, Newport News, Suffolk.
Yeah.
We all, man. So it's not really, the difference from one city to the next, man. It's like a 30-mile radius, man. So,
Okay.
we all.
Oh, just like York.
Say it again.
I said, so it's small like York, like where I'm from.
Yeah, man. So we all claim one another, but some of the athletes that's from that area, man. Obviously Vic, AI, some of the current guys today, Cam Chancellor, D'Angelo Hall, Percy Harvey, Lexico,
Okay.
we, baseball players, the Upton brothers, David Wright. I mean, the list goes on, man. Lonzo Mourning. There's just so many young players today that I'm forgetting. EJ Manuel, just so many guys, man. It's hard to name everybody. Bruce Smith.
You personally, what are some of the obstacles that you had to overcome growing up from a small town to make it to the NFL?
Well, some of the obstacles I had to, overcome, which probably is the same for any kid coming from a middle-class neighborhood. Just staying focused, man. Making sure you stay along the right track. There's a lot of temptation, a lot of things that could have easily distracted you, but my mother and father did a great job making sure I stay along my course, not doing some of the things that some of the other guys around me doing,
Right.
which happened because, we were all home, man. That's part of the living, man. You're going to do some silly things when you're young, but I was blessed and fortunate not to have that effect, my journey, and which, end up, working out to be a blessing, man. But I give tribute to my parents, my support system, which was around me, which is my family, and even my friends. Man, my friends made sure I stayed along course and then caught up, doing a bunch of nonsense, growing up.
Okay. That leads to my next question. How important is it, do you think, for families to be together, to have like a mother and a father in the home? You know how like a lot of women scream, like I'm independent, or she might have a good job, or she I don't need a man for this, I can raise my kids. How do you feel the importance of a woman and a man raising their kids as a family? Like,
I think it's very, very important. Me being the father of 5 kids, man. I think it's very important for each kid. If you're able to have that in your life, I think it's very critical and very important. I was blessed to be able to have my mother and my father in my life, growing up and even today. But just some of the things that my mother probably couldn't, advise me on, help me with, I had my dad for.
right.
Some of the things dad couldn't necessarily provide or do for me, I had my mom for. So I think there's a role for each. There's a role for each parent. Each person in
Yeah.
parenting. I think it's very critical, man. So, that's why I'm there for my kids as much as I am, and I'm active. I'm an active dad. There's no
Right.
difference in the mom and the dad, man. We all both roles. I cook, I clean.
Right.
Got
Right.
today's time. You need to teach your kids. Your kids need to see that dad is active and dad can do it all. You don't want your kids growing up dependent of other people. So that's why you got to be able to show your kids that, male or female, you can do all roles, you can provide and do everything, man. Because you
Right.
never what path you're gonna be led upon and what's gonna happen when you get older. So you have to be prepared no matter what happens.
Okay. I don't want to keep you too long. I know your son got a game tonight. Good luck to that. But what's been going on after football? What you into now?
Well, I retired in 2010, officially in 11, moved back to Charlotte, man. And just started raising babies, got involved with the youth and the community here in Charlotte. Started doing a little bit of broadcasting and doing like some radio, did some stuff with ESPN, following college football. And so I fell in love with, I did the broadcasting thing, but fell in love with mentoring kids and teaching and giving back, man. And that's what I'm passionate about. And so I've been doing it for the last 8 years, having my own travel team and having my own football organization.
Yeah.
And then, I just fell in love with it, man. Decided to pursue coaching at the next level. I was in New Orleans for 7 weeks this preseason. Had a great experience, working with those guys, Sean Payton and Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a defensive back coach. Dennis Allen is D coordinator. Peter Jensen, who is my D coordinator in St. Louis, is a senior assistant safety coach there. So experience there. I was in Miami for a week, did an internship with those guys as well. So just wanted to make sure, the internships are for former players and for coaches, guys, just making sure that this is the right path, giving you a chance to experience it without those guys hiring you right then. And so I did it for 7 weeks and fell in love with it, man. And so when I got back from New Orleans, I hired an agent, and I'll be coaching the NFL PA Bowl in January, like March that down there in Cali. And then once,
Okay.
it's over, jobs start opening up in April and March. I'm going to go head first towards these jobs and pursuing my passion, man. I'm a man of structure. I've been chilling for 8 years, raising the babies, doing that, but it's
Yeah.
time to get back to it, man. I need to be challenged. I like to compete. I love the atmosphere of being, amongst the guys and teaching and giving back, man. It's time to go head first, man.
Yeah, man. Good luck on that, man. I hope you get you a nice coaching job, man. You definitely deserve it. Um, One of the last questions I want to ask you is, what are some of the things that you teach or you tell your young guys that you coaching now to help them stay on track? And I'm talking about even the young guys that's coming into the NFL at 20, 21 years old.
Well, what I tell people is, the one thing I think separated me from a lot of guys that played the game, I was never afraid. Never afraid to take a chance. I was never afraid to fail. And so that's one thing I tell people, just not just athletically, but just in life in general, man. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Uh, but
Right.
it's okay to fail if you do. Don't be afraid or don't hold your head down if you fail. Every successful person in life, some of the most powerful people in this world, they fail all the time. And so, but the one thing you got to realize is that you got to bounce back up and learn from that and don't be afraid when it happens. And so that's the one thing with coaching I always relate to, and even in life, man. And people understand. A lot of kids today, just in this generation today, the minute they fail, the minute they experience some adversity, they quit, they shut it down. They want to throw in the towel. And
Yeah.
so just telling them my stories, telling them my experiences, more so give them a different perspective on what it means or what it means to be successful and what it means to follow your dream. And so, that's one of my one-liners I always use, and I stand by it, man. And hopefully guys can uh, take true meaning to what it is and what it stands for, and just learn from it, man, and hopefully change somebody's life.
Okay, man. Yo, Dre, I appreciate you, man. I know you busy. You got to get to your game, man. Appreciate having you on Starlight TV, man.
No doubt. This is my first time doing this, man. When you asked me to do it, I said, how can I not do this for my man Quick, man? And so you always show love. You always been, like family, man, through my man Omar. You treated me like I was one of the boys of New York, man.
Yeah,
So
just one of the
I would,
boys, man.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I ain't it's your birthday party, but We had a good time. Everything's good. I'll probably call Omar in a little bit, whatever. But yo, I appreciate you, man. Starlight TV, appreciate you. And you know, I wish you the best, Dre. Thanks a lot, man.
No doubt, my man. All right, dude.